Hello, my friends. Welcome back to another episode of the F Words of Life. Super excited to be here with you. It happens to be Friday, so happy Friday to all of you. Looking forward to having some of you guys on here live today, and I know some of you were planning on jumping on, so I really appreciate that. And those of you that are watching the replay, please hit like, please tell me what you like, and what I encourage you to do is be on live if you can, because what I really want to do with this live environment is provide you guys an opportunity to ask questions. And some questions I may know the answer to, some questions may be something that other people in our community know the answer to, so that we can share. So that's the really cool thing about this live environment. And appreciate all of you guys that are on live so far. Really cool to see you, and can't wait to see more people jumping on. So today, before we jump in, again, I just want to express my gratitude to you. It's been a phenomenal week, just really a fantastic week, launching the F Words of Life here to my family and friends on Facebook, doing these Facebook Lives, and going through some of the first F Words of Life with you. So it's been super exciting, super fun. This is day 5 of 5, going live to you, getting a little bit more comfortable, hopefully, with this going live and being on camera and talking to you guys and sharing. So thank you again for your support. Let me know how I can continue to support you. Thanks for being live, and thanks for watching the replay. So let's jump right in. So today, what we're going to talk about is the fourth F word of life. So what we're going to do is I want to quickly recap on earlier this week. We laid the foundation, right? That was the fundamentals. That's F word number 1, the fundamentals. And so that really is your foundation to everything. That's your self-care, your self-love, how you take care of yourself mentally, and really from a heart space and a spirit space, even if it's 5 to 10 minutes a day. On top of that, of those fundamentals, we layered in faith. And faith is critical because that's how we co-create with the universe. And we're going to talk about that a lot as we move forward together through the F Words of Life. Next, yesterday, what we talked about is we talked about fitness, and we talked about it in the sense of your personal health, not in the sense of you being, some badass size 2 with a 6-pack of abs. It's not about that. It's about you feeling great and having the physical energy that you need to go on and do these next F words that we're going to be talking about. And so today, what we're going to talk about is our family and friends. And so think of this as all of the important relationships that you have in your life. I believe personally that friends are chosen family. A lot of you guys out there feel very much like family to me, and we're not necessarily blood related. Plus, I have my actual blood related family that I love very much. And so both of those are very important. So at the core, again, think of this as your relationships, the people most important to you. Your significant other, or your partner, your wife, your husband, certainly could be a primary relationship. For those of you that are parents, your children obviously are a huge part of that. For those of you that still have parents and grandparents that are living, super important relationships. And then, like I said, beyond that, siblings, and then your coworkers and your business partners and people you network with and you do business with that you consider your friends. So relationships. So what I want to talk about is just why are we in relationship? Why is that important to us as human beings? Well, I personally believe that we're spiritual beings having a human experience, okay? And so our spirit, our spiritual self, is here to grow and evolve. And the way that we do that is in relationship with another human being, or with multiple human beings throughout our lifetime, right? I'm not talking about intimate relationships. I'm talking about just your most important relationships. So relationships, what they do is they provide a mirror to us. And so whatever spiritual lessons we were sent here, or we chose to come here, depending on what your philosophy is and what your belief is, whatever spiritual lessons your soul is meant to learn, we learn through relationships. The relationship becomes that mirror that basically gives us the opportunity to say, what lesson am I here to learn through this relationship, or what lessons, so that my soul and my spirit can continue to evolve. And so what I also find is our relationships, even though people at the end of their life, they say, the relationships were their most important thing. Or maybe it's their biggest regret that they didn't spend more time with the people that they love. What I find is when we get busy with other things in life, maybe it's our career or some sort of business venture, or maybe it's just the stress of just everyday life, right? Managing money and everything that goes along with that. What I find is people neglect their most important relationships. That's the thing that goes first. Or even worse, maybe than neglect, is we actually are unintentionally abusive in the relationship, meaning we end up taking stuff out on the person or people we actually love the most. It's kind of the analogy of coming home and having a bad day and kicking the dog, right? Not a fun analogy, not something that any of us want to be doing. And so why would we want to do that to our spouse or our children or our best friends, the people that love us and support us the most? So what I wanted to talk to you today about is how can we improve those relationships? How can we make great relationships even better? Or, maybe it's mediocre right now where you see your relationships. And so again, I encourage you to go to the fwordsoflife.com and download that assessment so you can see where you're at in each of the 7 F words of life. So with your family and friends and your relationships, I want to take it to the next level. So I wanted to give you just a couple of concepts here today, 3 exactly, 3 concepts that you can take away from today's live call, or if you're watching again on the replay, that you can implement immediately. These are skill sets and these are mindsets that you can have in front of you to really deepen your relationships, so that again, you're helping that person evolve and you're helping yourself evolve while you're actually deepening and having a more meaningful relationship with that friend, that family member, that person that you love. So the first concept comes from a great book that I read many years ago that I highly recommend if you've never read it, called The 4 Agreements. It's by Don Miguel Ruiz, R-U-I-Z. No, I don't get any money for that. Just I love the book and I love books and learning, and I can't teach you everything in a 15-minute live cast. So from that book of the 4 agreements, one of the agreements is never take anything personally. And it's one of my favorite concepts in the world because I personally believe the universe or God has a really good sense of humor. Because physically how we're designed, so if you think about it right now, sitting in your living room or in your car or taking a walk, wherever it is, wherever you look, literally, you're the center of your own universe. I mean, we really are the center of our own universe, physically and how we're designed. I mean, wherever our eyes go, we're still in the middle of whatever we're looking at and whatever we're engaging in. And so because of that, and because of the human ego, and sure you've heard lots about that in other long time studies in psychology as well as modern day, through like people like Eckhart Tolle who talk about the ego, we take everything personally, like, oh, well, they must have meant to hurt me, or they must have meant, that in a bad way, or, oh, they're having a bad day, and so I must have done something to cause that, also is another way of taking it personally. And what Don Miguel Ruiz says is never take anything personally, because just like you're having the experience where everything is kind of, again, you're in the center of your own universe, guess what that other person is? They're in the center of their own universe too. So everything that they do is about them. It's not about you. And this really takes a lot of the pressure off in terms of how you show up in a relationship or what you choose to take on in a relationship, good or bad. Right? We're here to be mirrors to each other, to give that reflection. Don Miguel Ruiz wrote another great book called The Mastery of Love, and it's one of the best ones on relationships that I've ever read, if you're interested in that one as well. Definitely highly recommend that, because he talks a lot about this concept. You're here to do your spiritual evolution and help other people, but you're not here to take things personally and make them about you. When somebody else does a behavior or an action or words, somebody's swerves and cuts you off in the freeway, are you going to take that personally? No, I mean, it had nothing to do with you. They don't even know you. Somebody's rude to you in the grocery store, right? We've all had that, probably in the grocery store line. Somebody's just a jackass. Well, start to think of it from this perspective. What must be going on in that person's life today for them to show up in the world in the way that they did? Now, we're not going to judge them. It's not about judging them. It's just not allowing it to come back to us personally, where we're making it about us. And so in any of your personal relationships, if you feel hurt, if you feel, just gypped in some way, think about it from this perspective. Okay, I'm not going to take it personally. That person, it didn't intentionally mean to hurt me, is what I'm talking about. Now there are people in the world who intentionally try to hurt you. We're going to put those in a separate bucket. I'm talking about your everyday, most important relationships, right? They're not out to intentionally hurt you. And yet when they do, it's up to you on how you process that hurt. You can stay hurt, you can be a victim, or you can say, all right, I'm going to be in my higher self right now, and I'm going to ask myself, what spiritual lesson am I supposed to be learning? Or what skill set, maybe even in human communication, am I supposed to be learning? Or maybe what attribute or what value am I supposed to be learning? Compassion or empathy or understanding or patience. Or maybe it's that it's actually time to learn boundaries, right? Because sometimes it is about saying, hey, this is you, this is your stuff. I'm going to let you deal with it and process it while I go over here because this isn't about me, right? There's all different ways we can split this up. So again, in these short videos, and I'm trying to keep short, I really am trying to give you guys all these different ideas that we can go into in trainings later as we get deeper into the F words of life, where we're going to dissect these even further. Okay, so first tenet, never take anything personally. It's a hard one to really own, but it is so powerful, and it will empower you in your life and in your relationships with people you know, with people you don't know, with business people, in your negotiations, right? Nothing is personal. Don't take it that way. Look at it as opportunities to grow. The next thing, the next skill set that I want you to adopt is as simple as this: listening. We do not listen in today's world. I don't know how it was 100 years ago, but we just don't listen to each other. And all we want is to be heard. Think about yourself. It's the end of the week. You're coming home from a long week, a long day. What do you really want? I mean, you really do want to be heard. If you're in relationship with someone, if you've got children, or you're living with somebody and you have a significant other, or you have roommates, or you live with family, they also want that same thing. They want to be heard. So us who are on this path of personal growth, personal development, what I want us to do is be the first one to listen, right? Be willing to be the ear first before you maybe share your day. And then as your relationships evolve and grow, you can continue to learn how to communicate better with each other. And so listening really is just that. It's number one, being fully present. Are you on your phone while somebody important is trying to tell you something? You went to lunch with somebody, you made time for something, and your cell phone keeps buzzing and they're trying to tell you and communicate something to you, and yet you're texting every 5 seconds. Are you fully present, and are you really able to listen in that case? This again is a skill set that's very simple in concept, but not necessarily very easy to implement. And I really was thinking back, I'm like, was there really a time in school or in church or in whatever organizations that you were in that sat you down and taught you through a course or classes or over time how to really listen? And so that is something that I'll be offering in the future, is actually how can you become a very, very great listener. When you become a great listener, you become a great influencer, you become a great persuader, you become a great negotiator. So this can apply in your business, not just in your personal life. And so, by the way, and when I talk about personal life, you want to talk about upping your parenting skills. And I'm not a parent, but I do have lots of nieces and nephews, and I have lots and lots of friends that are parents, so I hear lots of stories. Listening to the kids is a key ingredient to that relationship really blooming and growing. And it doesn't mean always listening to them, because nothing is an all or nothing, right? This isn't black or white. However, if we seek to understand, that's what listening is. So if you're taking notes, I really hope you take notes during these videos, because I throw a lot at you, and I encourage you to go back and watch the videos, even if you're on live, which I really appreciate. And I saw, I've got quite a few people on live, which I'm super excited about. Thank you for being here. And some of your longer comments are harder for me to read because I have to hit the see more button. So I'll go and look at those after the live cast, but thank you for putting those in. I appreciate that. I just kicked the camera a little bit. And so, seek to understand, right? Let go of your agenda, be fully present, and just listen. What are they saying? What are they not saying? If you're with them in person, what is their body language? If you're on the phone, where do you hear the sighs or, the change of tonality? that you can do so much and have so much power for good to help people when you truly seek to understand and seek to listen. Our world and our planet and our country would be 1,000 times better if everybody walked around with the mantra of, let me seek to understand first. All right? And so that's number 2. So number 1 was don't take things personally. Number 2, listen more. Just listen more. There's that old saying, God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, right? Remember the ratios. Do more listening than you do talking. People will love you. If you sit on a plane with someone, and let's say you just have a quick hour flight, and you just ask them questions and you listen for an hour, they will walk off the plane thinking you are a rock star and you are magnificent, just simply because they got to talk to you and you listened. You might not have said more than 2 words. They know nothing about you, and yet they will love you. And so listening is a key skill in our society that I really feel like we've lost. And so I encourage you this weekend, if you're watching this on Friday, or if you're watching this later as a replay, over the next couple of days, pay attention. When are you fully engaged? When are you really listening? Right? Don't give to get. Adam, I love that. Don't give to get, right? This is purity of intent. So we're not listening so that we can hear the next thing that we're going to say. We're not listening thinking about what's the next thing I'm going to say, or, oh, that relates to my story and I'm going to talk about this next. Fully present, fully listening. And again, that's where I have about 14 different types of ways that you can listen, principles and mindsets that you can go through. And again, that'll be available in a future training. But definitely, Adam, key ingredient, don't give to get. Don't listen just sitting there waiting, because then you're not fully present. You're not truly listening. That's not what is at the core. So purity of intent, seeking to understand first. Simply that. Which leads us to our third thing. Our third principle, skill, mindset, whatever you want to call it today, is asking more questions. So when you listen, part of listening is asking clarifying questions. Asking, tell me more about that. Tell me more is a question, by the way. It's in the form of a statement, but when somebody says something and you just simply say, well, can you tell me more about that? Or tell me more, Adam. Tell me about that. They get to open up and they get to expose themselves even more in positive ways. And so even when you're listening and you're fully present, what I find also, and I'm very guilty of this, is I'll listen really well and I'll hear about 3 things, and then I want to go in and go, here's the solution. Here's what you need to do. Boom, 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 right? I can fix it. I can help you fix it. We can do this together. We can conquer it. Instead of doing that, how about you ask a couple of questions? A minimum of 2. 3 would be even better, but a minimum of 2 before you offer any solution. Think about this with kids, right? They come up, and I've seen, my nieces and nephews do this. I've heard other stories from parents talking about this. Let's say it's a 6-year-old. They come up to you and they're like, hey, mommy, daddy, whatever, grandpa, grandma, auntie, uncle, I want to tell you about this. And they're telling you and they're telling you and they're telling you. And then it's kind of like, oh, that's great. Well, you should have done this or this or this or did. And it's like, well, no, they didn't. They just wanted you to hear. And then maybe ask a question to see if there was anything more in the tank. And then when they know that they've been heard, then they turn around and they go off and they're happy as pie. Some kids will be like, hey, wait, mom, dad, pay attention. Like, no, you're not listening. You're not hearing me, right? That's a big sign. Take a time out. Okay, I'm going to be fully present. This child, this kid, this person, this teenager, this adult, believe me, because this isn't just kids, right? They just need to feel heard. We don't have to agree with them. We don't have to fully understand even the story. We just have to be present to listen. Asking questions is a piece of that. So I encourage you to engage your sense of curiosity. Kids are the most curious, right? They're born with a sense of curiosity. They ask why about everything. They want to seek to understand the world, why people work the way they do, why nature works the way that it does. Whatever it is, engage that sense of yourself about the people you love. Okay? You don't want to do it with strangers? All right, that's your personal choice. I'm talking about the people who matter the most to you, what we're calling your family and friends, right? Your deepest relationships, your most cherished people that at the end of your life you're gonna say, this is what mattered most, right? These are the people and these are the relationships, and this is where I really contributed and also got nurtured back, was from these people. And so focusing on not taking it personally so that we can be fully present to listen, to truly seek to understand, and then ask some additional questions to be curious. You know, really just spark that sense of curiosity. That's what I want you to do. Your relationships will go through the roof. Like I said, with whoever it is. I have the other cat in the background today, meowing, so if you hear her, we have another special guest back here. She decided to make an appearance. It's felines and dogs, by the way. They're part of our family and friends as well. And so have conversations with them. They'll actually listen without talking back. That's why we love them so much. So be like them, right? Never take things personally. Listen fully present, seeking to understand. Ask more questions. Spark that sense of curiosity, right? And then the other final piece I want to leave you with is we're all wired a little bit differently in how we like to be loved or acknowledged or appreciated in our relationships. Again, we're talking about your most important relationships. Friends that are chosen family, friends that are, means the world to you, as well as family that also means the world to you. So those special relationships, how do they like to be treated? How do they like to be loved? So this is just kind of a bonus concept. And I know a lot of you guys have probably heard of the book, The Five Love Languages, Five Languages of Love, however it's worded. I think it's The Five Languages of Love. And we have different ways in which we like to be acknowledged and nurtured and loved. And so what I would encourage you to do is, first of all, identify, do you even know how you like to be loved? Because if you don't, it's going to be very hard for you to articulate that to anybody that you care about, that you're in relationship with. The next thing is seeking again to understand someone else. How do they like to be loved? How do they like to be acknowledged? Is it through quality time together, which is one of the 5 love languages? Is it through physical touch? For some people, all that they need just to feel reassurance is just a hand on the shoulder, or, reaching over and holding their hand or giving them a hug. Physical touch means a lot. For some people, it's acts of service, and I'm not going to remember all of them. Those are the top 3 that I can remember. But acts of service, actually doing something for the person, shows them and demonstrates how much you love them. And so think about that in your relationships as well. I believe they have one for kids and teens now also, and there's a little assessment you can do online. It's free. Just Google it, the 5 love languages, 5 languages of love. And you can learn more about that. But as I was thinking about this live cast, I was like, oh, that's a nice little nugget I want to share with you guys today, because it will make a significant difference, especially in your intimate relationship. If you have a partner, significant other, again, husband, wife, whatever it may be, very important. And also, like I said, I personally believe with your kids as well, if you're parents or if you're an auntie like me, where we want to seek to understand our younger generation and connect with them in the way that they want to be connected with. So that is the summary for today in terms of our F word of family and friends. So we've gone through 4 F words so far: the fundamentals, faith, fitness, which is our overall health, and then we had today, family and friends, right? Our core relationships. So Jacqueline, I see you putting all of the things in. Thank you very much for adding those. I appreciate it. I'm sure I could think of them if I had time. But those are our 4 F words so far. There's 7 F words in total that we're going to be talking about through this video series of just kind of introducing you to the overall concept of the F words of life and how you can level up each individual area. So what I'm going to do is, this is our 5th day in a row of going live, and we're going to take a break over the weekend so that you can actually start to absorb and implement. I don't want this just to be fun entertainment and just something that you're hearing and it goes in one ear and out the other, and oh, that was great. I want you to take something from the 4 videos. We had an introductory video too. So if you didn't watch the intro overview video that talked about all 7, I encourage you to do that as well. And so they're all on my Facebook page. You can access them, comment on them, contact me if you have questions. And then what we're going to do is we're going to resume on Monday. So today's Friday where I'm recording this live, and thank you all for being on here live. I'm seeing lots of comments. I just can't see them very well today for some reason. Oh, hey Anthony, thanks for being here, buddy. So what we're going to do is we're going to resume on Monday. Okay, so Monday at 5:45 Pacific, Tuesday and Wednesday, we're going to go through F words 5, 6, and 7. So I'm going to come at you with even more next week. So what I really want you to do is focus this weekend on something that you're going to work on. Is it going to be something in self-care under the fundamentals? Something that you're going to do this weekend that's just going to nurture your heart or your spirit or your soul in some way? Is it going to be working on your faith and really diving into what do I want to co-create with the universe? What do I actually want to manifest? Am I even focused on that? And where do I feel about that? Where am I at? I encourage you again to take notes as you watch these, and also do some journaling. You know, if you have thoughts and feelings that come up or ideas that come up, write them down, because you will forget them in the busyness of life. That's just a fact. So write them down. Share them with me, certainly. You can share them in the comments, or you can just, again, private message me. You can email me. You can contact me through the website, theFwordsofLife.com. My contact information is on there. You can call me. Most of you have my phone number. And so let me know how you're doing. Is it going to be something this weekend that you're going to focus on in fitness? Maybe you're going to go for a walk. Maybe you're going to drink more water. I know a couple of you reached out to me yesterday and you said the water thing really hit me. I think that's why I've been feeling so fatigued. So again, I have my handy dandy water bottle next to me, drinking water, so that we can bring the energy, right? So we can serve the people that we love, which brings us to our family and friends. Do you want to focus on something this weekend that's about deepening a relationship? Can you work on not taking things personally? Can you work on listening more, right? 50% more than you talk. Or do you want to focus on asking more questions? You know, again, just having that sense of curiosity about the people that you love. Okay, people, this isn't supposed to be work, right? These are people that you love and you enjoy, your family and friends, the ones that you cherish the most. So listen, ask questions, be present with them. I hope you've gotten a lot of value from today's training. It has been a pleasure and honor, as always, to be with you today and all through this week. I will look forward to seeing you live on Monday. Remember, if you're watching this as a replay, please be here live, because as we do more of these, I am going to stop and take more questions, and so that we can have a dialogue. And so I love it. Anthony, thank you very much. He's given a little recap of our first 4 F words. I love it. We've got 3 more coming next week. And Anthony, if you missed the intro video, it's on Monday. It was this past Monday. You can go back and rewatch that. And it talks about all 7 words overall. And I look forward. You guys have a blessed and fabulous, that's an F word, fabulous weekend. Enjoy yourself. Do something for fun. Take care of yourself. Send me any messages, questions, suggestions that you have. Let me know how you're doing out there in the world. Much love to you guys. You are my family and friends. You're my favorite F word. That's why I'm doing all of this, is to help you level up in all 7 areas. So let me know how I can be of service to you. Thank you all for being here live. It's really cool to see people on live. Love it, love it, love it. And just make it a fabulous weekend. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye, guys.